Hi everyone, happy Friday. Okay, we've got kind of a big check-in today. I'm gonna try to get through everything as fast as I can, but there's some kind of important information that I want to send your way before we get going on Monday, so just bear with me. Again, I'll get through this as fast as I can and get you off to more exciting things, okay? So, couple things to know for our class next week, just logistics stuff. You may have already seen this in Google Classroom. In case you haven't, I created a new folder in there that's called Today's Work. That is where I will every single day be posting the materials, the lecture, the assignments, anything that you need to complete for that current day. As soon as that day is over, the next morning, I will pull the stuff that was there from the previous day, drop it into whatever file it applies to, whether it's Things Fall Apart or another unit that we get into, and then add in the new material for the current day. Okay, so just keep your eye on that. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for you to understand exactly what we're working on every single day. I will put dates on everything. I will have a video for you every day to kind of make sure that you're clear on what to do. Sorry, my dogs might interfere with this, hopefully not too badly. Okay, and then as far as turning in work goes, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later because I had some questions on deadlines and concerns about deadlines, but for our class, I will be posting new material, new assignments every single day, okay? Because we're treating this just like we would at school, where every day that you show up to class, you have new stuff to learn and review and go over. So every single day you'll be getting new stuff from me. However, because of what we're working with right now, I've decided that deadlines for all of our work are going to be the last day of the week. Okay, so typically on other weeks it would be Friday. Next week it's Thursday because we don't have school on Friday. But you technically will have until the last day of that week to get those things turned in without any sort of penalty. We're not expecting you to be online at a certain time. And I know that some of you have some extra responsibilities now that we are in this current situation. So get everything in by the end of the week for our class with no penalty, okay? After that, there will be a little bit of a penalty, okay? It won't be as severe as it was when we were together. It used to be a day that it was late, it was 50% off. I'm gonna start with the week after, it'll be knocked down to 75%, and then the week after that, it'll go down to 50, okay? But I know too that some of you are gonna have some extenuating circumstances that will make things challenging for you to get work in and done every single day and at a certain time every day. So that's why that deadline is now what it is, okay? And then just quickly, I've had a very large response with the survey that I sent out in terms of who is interested in participating with that Google Hangout on Monday. I've got about 77 of you, I think, currently who have replied to the survey, and of that 77, 30 of you said that you want to hang out, which is awesome, and I really want to give you guys the chance to connect with each other. However, that is probably too many people to have in one chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on dividing up the people that did reply and said that they want to participate in that, and creating a second. Sorry, my dogs are a little bit crazy, so I might have to pause this awkwardly a few times. Anyways, so I'm gonna create a second hangout at least. It depends on how many people reply that they want to. There may be multiple, and it may have to be over the course of multiple days. But anyways, this weekend, I'm going to work on dividing up those of you who responded that you do into different groups, and then you will receive by email an invitation from me to participate in that Google Hangout. So if you get a Hangout invitation for a time or potentially a day that does not work for you, but you still want to participate, just shoot me an email back. I'm trying to limit the number in those chats just because from what I've experienced this past week, too many people makes it a little bit clumsy. It's hard for everyone to get a chance to talk. People have tech issues. So in this case, less is more, but I do want to give all of you the chance to connect with some of your peers. So just be on the lookout for that email from me if you replied yes to that question. Now, you all gave me some really good feedback, and you were very honest in terms of your concerns and fears and questions about what's going to be happening with this distance learning. And I would like to take just a few minutes to respond to some of those questions. I will preface this by saying that I do not have all of the answers. None of us really do at this point. It's kind of an evolving situation that we are figuring out as we go. So there's a bit of a learning curve for me and your other teachers as well. So just as we should, all of us, be having patience with you, I would ask that you do the same with us as we learn and adapt to this new online format, because most of us have not done it before, okay? And especially your teachers who might be a little bit older, they're not as familiar with technology, some of them, so it's going to be a bigger learning curve for them. So just have patience, just have grace. And know that we are on your side and we're here to support you and that we want you to succeed. So with that, one of the things that I saw frequently pop up in those fears and concerns was this general idea of not being able to understand your work and what's being asked of you. The best thing that I can say in response to that is that communication throughout this time is going to be your best friend. So this is when you really need to get comfortable with email. You really need to get comfortable potentially being on the phone. You need to try maybe to be comfortable having those face-to-face meetings in a Google Meet with some of your teachers. But you need to be your number one advocate, okay? If something's going or if there's something that happens that you just don't understand and you have questions about it, you need to be okay with asking, okay? It's okay to ask for help. We want you to ask for help. It helps us too, because if you have a question about something, if it's not clear to you, there's a good chance that it's not clear to a bunch of other students. So please do not hesitate to reach out. That's why we created those office hours where all of your teachers should have some designated time, I think every day, where you can reach out to them live, where they're literally sitting by their computer or their phone or whatever it is, and able to answer those questions for you. Okay, so take advantage of that. Make sure that you have all of your emails for your teachers. And if for some reason that's still not working, you can go ahead and communicate with your counselors, okay? If you get in a bind in one of your classes, even if you've tried really hard to reach out and you're just not getting the support you need, you can absolutely reach out to your counselor and let them know, okay? I think that kind of knocks out this next one about getting help from teachers. Due dates and procrastination were another big topic of concern that you guys were vocalizing. Due dates are going to fluctuate class by class. So my recommendation is that this weekend maybe you sit down and you create like a calendar or a map for yourself that has all of that information that you need that is pertinent to each of your classes. Things like when your teacher's office hours are, what they have said about due dates. And maybe you won't know that until next week, but you can at least kind of get the template together and fill in that information as we go. But that way you'll kind of get in the habit of knowing when to check in, how to check in, what the expectations are, and you'll have that kind of right in front of you, okay? So that will help you keep track of those due dates. It's also going to be a great tool for making sure that you are not procrastinating, because yes, that can be very easy to do when you are having to self-direct through your learning. Right? I wish that I had better advice for you when it comes to procrastination, but that is something that I know a lot of us just have to kind of push through on our own. I would love to say that I can call and check in with you every single day, but that would probably not be realistic with the number of students that I have. But you can let me know if you're really struggling, okay? Especially for our class. Please, 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 if the deadlines, the due dates are really stressing you out, please let me know and we can discuss that, all right? Another thing that came up was the amount of work assigned. A lot of you were concerned that teachers would be giving a ton of work, that they wouldn't necessarily be considerate of the fact that you still have your other classes to take care of. I want you to rest assured that we have been given very strict guidelines in terms of how much work we can give you every day. So I know that I for sure am working within those parameters. I also personally am recognizing that this is a weird time with potentially a lot of trauma and a lot of trauma that we don't even recognize yet. And that can really affect your ability to be productive and to do your work well. So you should not be getting any more work than you did during the kind of our normal school setting. In fact, it's probably even less because just to give you kind of a general picture of what it looks like, we have been instructed that everything that we do, whether it's lecture, whether it is practice, whether it is homework, has to fit into a certain time parameter, okay? And for us, that time parameter is 1 hour per day. Okay, so that means that things that you would normally be doing outside of our class time, like reading, I am rolling into that hour of class time. Okay, so it might still feel like a lot because each of your classes has a set time frame that they have been given, but it is not that time frame for class plus homework. Okay, it's all supposed to be rolled into one. If that is becoming an issue for our class, I need you to communicate with me. Same goes for your other classes. If you are finding that the workload far exceeds the expectation for that class, then you need to let your teacher know, okay? Because sometimes it's tricky for us to know, especially in this situation, how long things really are taking, okay? So just, again, communicate, all right? Tech issues was another major concern. We know there are going to be tech issues, okay? Just mentally tell yourself right now that there are probably going to be some tech issues that you encounter with so many people inundating the internet and all these different programs that we're using. It's going to probably put a strain on the programs that we're using. And then for those of you who are maybe working more remotely, living in kind of those remote areas where internet access is already a little bit of an issue, we're aware of that. And hopefully, I cannot speak on behalf of all of your teachers, but hopefully they're super sympathetic to that. I absolutely will be. Again, I just need you to communicate with me. One thing that I have tossed out there to a couple of you who have contacted me and said I'm concerned because my internet is already really spotty because I live so far out, is if you are having tech issues and you are really concerned about a particular deadline, you can always call or text me. Okay, you should have my phone number by now, and I will be happy to advocate for you and reach out to those teachers that you are trying to get a hold of if you can't. Of course, that might be a bit of a concern or an issue if we have like a major internet outage and I don't have access to internet, but if I do and I live in town and my internet is usually pretty reliable. But if you are having issues and you're stressing about contacting a teacher, reach out to me and I will be happy to pass along the message to them to let them know that, hey, the student's really, really making an effort and trying and they're just running into issues with technology right now, okay? And with that too, I saw a couple mentions of concern about kind of some meetups online, and I'm not 100% sure exactly what you meant by that, but I do want you to know that the expectation for all of us teachers is that because of the situation, again, that we're all in, and some of the barriers that we're facing, and the fact that a lot of you are now doing some extra duties that you don't normally, maybe some childcare, maybe taking on some work that you didn't have previously, that we cannot expect you to be online at a specific time. Okay, for your classes. So if you have heard, if maybe some of your teachers have indicated that there are scheduled meetups that you have to attend, I would ask them about that. I would question that. If they do any sort of live lecture of any kind, they should be recording that so that you can review it later at a time that works for you. Okay, so just know that there should be no requirement for you to be online at a specific time for any of your classes. I had a few questions about our scheduled return to campus timeline. I honestly don't have the answer right now. I can tell you what I do know, but you need to take what I say with a grain of salt because I do not have the answers at the moment. I know that on Tuesday there was a board meeting where they were supposed to discuss that and discuss kind of our status and where we're at. I have yet to hear what was decided. I think there was a little bit of a hang-up in the decision. I don't know why, but that information I think should be coming pretty soon, but I don't currently have it. So stick tight a little bit. I would say, and again, this is my opinion, so don't take it as truth entirely. This is just what I think based off of what I've been seeing and hearing in the news. I would not be surprised if we extended our distance learning for longer. Okay, I don't know if or when we will return to campus this year for school, but I wouldn't be surprised if we were in this situation for longer than we had originally anticipated. Okay, so as soon as I find out the for sure information, I will pass it your way. I also had one of you ask about the length of the school year and how this could impact that. I'm assuming you're worried about us having to continue into the summer. My understanding at this point, and again, this could change, but my understanding is that this is one very unique circumstance where the California Office of Education can choose, and I think even on a federal level, I think they can choose to say we do not have to extend the school year because of the circumstances that we're in. Normally, extension of school year happens in places where they've had like inclement weather and they cannot physically get to campus because there's a blizzard or tornado or whatever, which we obviously don't really experience here. And in those cases, they do have to extend the school year to meet those minimum number of days. But in this scenario, because we're dealing with a health crisis, school regulations say that we do not necessarily have to extend the school year. I'm not, again, saying that is 100% the case, but especially with us transitioning to this distance learning format, I would imagine that we will not have to add days to the end of the year. Okay, at least I'm crossing my fingers that we don't, because I don't want to go into summer either. Okay, I think that basically covers everything. I would like to just quickly close with this thought. I am on your side and on your team, and I want to be an advocate for you. So I really want you to kind of take the reins and being an advocate for yourself, communicating with your teachers, communicating with counselors, communicating with your parents even about what's going on and, if you need help in a certain class. But if you are stuck, if you are stranded, if you feel like you've done what you can and you don't know who else to turn to, please let me know, because I will go to bat for you and I will track down information you need. I will get in contact with teachers or administrators if you are having a hard time getting in contact with them. I am happy to do that for you. You just have to reach out to me and let me know, okay? I promise you that I'm not going to be annoyed with any of your questions. I had someone mention that. You can ask me the same question 1,000 times. I'm not going to get annoyed with it, I promise. And Riley, just for you, I talked to your mom today. Okay, and she says that as of now, you do not have the coronavirus. Okay, so you can stop freaking out about that. Okay, I think we did it. I know this was long. I'm super sorry. I tried to get through it kind of as quickly as I could, but I hope that kind of puts you at ease a little bit for next week. If you have any other questions or concerns, again, do not hesitate to reach out to me, email, phone, Google Meet, whatever you need, let me know. I am here for you, and I am looking forward to really connecting with all of you starting on Monday. Have a super wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy. I miss you all. Mwah.